This is Rod Kusin and Spoon for Risk. It is May 5th. Let's look at the pre-market activity. The close from the previous day was at 23.85. The majority of the pre-market activity was below that. We've only moved above it briefly in the last roughly hour or so. The current move above that places us at 89.50, approximately 5 points above where we closed. That should generate an open, if we remain there, come the open, about 5 points above where the INX was, placing it at 93.50, roughly speaking. So that's important for us to watch where that open on the INX takes place. We have a relatively even symmetrical high and low on the profile with a POC that's approximately where it was during the day and right around the area of the close. So an area of repair down there at around 23.88. So there's not really too much here to comment on beyond that. So we are obviously in an uptrend, and it would seem that we should probably move back right around the POC. Now we could go lower, of course, but I would expect a bounce right around the area of the POC, and if not there, in the area of 23.83, which is the low volume node in on the profile. The overnight profile shows the lowest node at 23.83. Okay, and you can see that roughly in here. So what we anticipate is we should be taking a long trade. We'll just have to watch closely as to where that is going to come off of. If the INX opens up there at around 93, as you can see, that will take us above the composite upper value area on the INX, which is at 92. Let's just get 93 up in here. We're going to put this at 75. And by way of a composite, that indicates to me that we don't really have much above that level, which would give us any support. So for that reason, if we open up here, I don't think that's going to last. So we would expect the market to short into an area of support, which could be right back down to 92. And then it might be able to gain some support for a further rally up, or it needs to drop, back into the area of 88. So now when we look at let's look at each daily profile here. Again, if we're up above this area, as you can see, there's all we've got up here is resistance. We don't really have an area of support. So in order for us to get more buyers into the rally, it's going to need to drop. And the obvious place for that to happen is right around 88. Okay. that actually places us at 89, and the TPOC right there. Okay, so I think we're going to be short out of the gate, and we're here just about at the open. Now we're about 5 points above instead of 4. Here we go. Whoa! Shooting us up right away. Where are we opening on the INX? There we go. Okay. Coming down as we expected. We're going to have to drop the number of days back here. A little issue there. All right, so here's our profile at the moment from the open. Very poorly formed up here, and very, very poorly formed here. So we got this big area of correction in here, and anticipating that the market will drop. We are short at 90.75. So we should see this all corrected here. And that's a good point or better in the way of a drop. So we'll come back in a couple minutes and see this get repaired. Okay, so we've been repairing a bit down here, as we mentioned, but by the same token, we haven't really dropped too much right now. We're just hanging there below the current POC at 23.90. Well, that's really 23.89.75 more correctly. We should see this drop some more. There's a little better picture of the INX. Now, as we drop down there, we need to go a little further to repair that area. Brings us into this area of lower volume here on the ES. 87.25. So we've got, this is very, very poorly formed. Very poorly formed. We've got a lot more on the upside. We've got a lot more on the downside. And we are continuing to move down. So let's take a look and see where we're headed once again. Now we mentioned this area of repair in here on the ES with the overnight market there. Got to get down to 87.50 where we are right now to do any kind of repair in there. And keeping in mind that the POC, let's get a good read on that. Is below. So we are still short. We took some profits off the table. Now we're continuing on down. A little bit of a bounce right at 87.25. But we're just not in any kind of an area here. That's in fact where we opened. So I would anticipate that we would move down, at least down to this area at around 23.90 for some support. So we're just going to have to observe this. We will take a few trades in the meantime. The 125 here is pretty well committed to the short, so we'll want to keep an eye out on that. Let's update this. So it would seem that this area around 86.25 is a good target for this short. But then the big question is whether or not it actually will hold. Because there's a lot of room for this to continue to move down. And this looks awful. This profile is absolutely awful. So 86.25, about a point below where we are right now. And that would bring us to just about the upper value area from yesterday. So that looks somewhat reasonable. Yet at the same time, you can see that we started to meet with a little bit of support just as we were dropping into the low here. As you look at the profile there. So we could continue to mess around a little bit above this area before it comes all the way down. Because this is so poorly formed. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. This doesn't look good at all. So we're moving back up. Let's just see where this is going to take us. I mean, this is really all over the place. So really tough to anticipate where this is going to turn. But look, this looks like that'll get corrected and probably move up a little higher even before it begins to move back down again. We have 89.25 low volume in there. And of course 89.75 is the true POC. Now you can scalp in here a little bit, I think. I think that's what we're going to do. Just scalp this a little bit. Okay. Got a point on that. I would expect this to repair in here. Come back down. should get a bounce right in here. $86.25. All right, this should shoot up, repair that. Another area repair up above here. I kind of see going back up to 91.89 as a potential target. But looking at that low on the premium, we're still short. So 87.75 kind of looks like a somewhat of a natural place for this to bounce off of before we even get that high. But there's not much. It doesn't have a lot of power to go up much further right now. Let's see if we can't change that. There we go. There we go. I'm not proud of that. So I'm out of that little scalp and we're back in short. I'll take another point. $86.50, $86.25 is really more of a target for me. Only because of the higher volume there. It doesn't seem to want to go into this area of low volume. Now we're going to do a little more correction again. Now, yeah, it came back down real quick like. Lower read on the premium, as you saw. We're still short. So potentially this could just crash right below here, because this is just as poorly formed as it gets. This is awful. There's just nothing. This is just an awful looking profile. So I'm kind of the opinion that as we break through that 86.25 node right there, this is just going to continue right on down, and we'll get some big spikes down on the premium. That's what I would expect. And the premium is continuing to drop here. Now, granted, we've got a little bit of a divergence there. Not enough sellers to take this down, but we'll get there. So we'll come back in a few minutes. Now we've moved up quite a ways here, but I don't think we're quite there yet. But we are dropping. We're short at 88.25. A little bit surprising there. The premium had continued to move up, but we saw a nice drop there. But I think we've got enough. We're gonna try to move up one more time, I think. From the low here, this is really attempt one. And we could go 2 or 3 more times. So I'll just give this a little bit more time. Okay. We're into this area of correction now. We're just about there. So that's a very reasonable expectation, and a move up all the way to the low value area. Or the upper value area, pardon me. Of course, that's the upper value area. Watch that disappear. Higher lows on the premium, not much higher highs. I'm surprised we didn't go higher just yet. It may take one more attempt. Really just came down here to this area of support. It may continue on down. It may have given it up. I'm a little surprised. But we've been taking shorts on the way up here. And because you can never be absolutely certain as to where that's going to turn, we've just put some contracts in at 88.75 and taking profits on the way down, and still holding one contract, just one, because I really expected this to go up a little higher. And this was first attempt here, second attempt here, to get up to that point. It would seem to me that we'll give it one more shot. But now, as you can see, the low value, pardon me, the upper value area here is below that area of repair. So the premium said we were divergent, and for that reason we were taking shorts right in there at 88.75. and then took some profits on the way down because we I really think we were supposed to go up a little higher. So now we are going back up. Let's see how far we go. We'll come back. Okay, here we go. Now once again we see how we're at a lower high on the INX. That will cause the premium to have a higher high here. And at least at 88.75, that would imply something of a divergence. So that could be all she wrote, because it never made it up that high. And so we are short once again, not quite where we would have liked it to be, but we got in at 88.50. We managed that. We've been targeting 86.25 below the low here, and it looks like it's not going to take much at all. We've just hit it, and that says it all. That says it all. Here we go. All right, now let's go back, take a look. See? Smart to get in. POC from the overnight, right down here. And now this area of repair. If we break below 88.50, this thing is going to move down rather quickly, or so it would seem. Now this is, interestingly enough, right at the upper value area from yesterday, and the TPOC. So that's support. So we could get a little bit of a bounce here. Move back up, repair that, come back down, go further. So you see what I'm talking about here. TPOC, upper value, those are areas of potential support, place for a bounce. It is bouncing. And where's this going to repair? Let's go back. Kind of natural place for it to move up to and then turn. repair that. Okay, it's repairing this area in here. Good place to take another short. And it left it. Okay, coming down to the low. Now you saw how volatile things were yesterday. So what I want to do, okay, we're coming right down to the POC. This is another place for a potential bounce. So what we're going to do, we've done real nicely here. We've done really nice. I think we're getting it bounced. So we're going to go ahead and take some profits off the table. So we've got our IB calculation here, taking us down right into that area at 87 and change. About 83.5 here. 82% probability. Looks pretty good. And if we come all the way down there, which I think we will, and bounce, then we still have a good chance of staying above the close of 2 days ago, because there's the close. So just a bounce off of that would be fine. So we're now going to suspend the video for a little while, and we'll come back as we get closer to that IB projection. Now I've gone ahead just for the grins and put one of our favorite oscillators on the 15-tick INX chart, as that seems to be somewhat helpful in identifying just where this is likely going to turn. So I kind of like that. So we'll kind of keep an eye out on that. Just seems to be useful. And it looks like we'll make another move up. Now this divergence down here at the low made good sense. We talked about the two areas of support on the INX and the ES as well. So that made good sense. we've now, if we compare our premium here to our premium here at the same price, yeah, we got a little bit more strength to move up again. So maybe we'll make it up to the 88.50 area. We'll see. And returning again, so one more attempt up makes good sense. So in the light of that, it probably would not be good to take a short just yet. Premium, however, is divergent here. Down we go. So with ES not going any higher on that last move, it looks like we may be coming down, but we've got a little strength from the RSX here, taking us back up on the INX. But the premium is divergent here. Premium rules. Now, just as a point of interest, you notice how the premium was up just a bit on this last move. Why? Because the INX was lower. Now, we have moved up a little higher here. And this could fool you, all right? We keep on emphasizing that if the INX is lower when the ES is higher, you're going to get a higher read on the premium, not a lower read. That does not mean that you should wait. Now, in this particular case, it works out well because we did move higher on the INX with a lower read on the premium, equal read on the ES, and that brings us down again. But don't let that fool you, because the INX at that point is divergent itself. So the clue herein, where is there an area of repair and or an area where we can expect the INX to move up to? And the descending upper value area, once again, is now a target. and therefore taking a short at this point in time becomes more questionable because we're so close. We're really a half a point away. Now let's look at this real close like. Remember that area up in here? I think there's good reason to think that we may exceed this area here. Because there's that little area of repair here, there's a bigger area of repair right down here. Or right up there, I should say. So now let's take a look at the premium again. Let's get a good feel for that. Higher, higher. Lower. But at that high we were at 69. So what we're going to do here, right, we're going to extend that out. And we failed, as we can see, coming down. Now we've got a short there at 88.25, but I'm not real proud of that. Right, she's coming down. Did the same thing before. INX starts to drop off. And just look at this last tick up right in there on the ES. Look at the ES. Look at where the INX is. See how divergent that is. Coming down. Down she goes. I think we've still got room for it to go back up, though. I really do. And we didn't get a real big drop on the premium there either. There was no drop really. And you compare this to this, not really, this, and there's really not much there. Premium dropped here, however. Okay, we'll come back in a few minutes. I'm thinking we're going to give it one more chance. One more try up. So, you're probably asking, would I take a long trade here? Yeah. Yes, I would. Tight stop, but give it one more try. We're starting to ease into a short again. No, we're going to go higher. Okay. We'll get out of that. Let's just reverse here. We'll take it up a little higher. A little scalp at best. At best. See if we can't get up to 92.33. 88.25. Not much. But it could. You know, it could pop up another, really another point. See what the premium's doing right now? That could push higher real quick. But there was no follow through on the upside. You needed, the lows were higher, but the highs were lower. No follow through, comes down. So attempt 1, 2, 3, look at this. 1, 2, 3, that's it. 1, 2, 3, lower still. Now, as the market came down here, and you saw where we were on the premium here versus here versus here. Okay, let's just let's correct that so you can see it more obviously. $444.34. All right, a little lower, 442, but you saw that divergence, and you could see the divergence over here using the RSX. So that divergence gave you a nice 1-point move. It's a nice scalp, but it was definitely there. Well, interestingly enough, even though we've got that low bar on the premium over here, we're still moving up, as you can see. And we're moving right into that area that we had talked about previously that needed some area. There needed to be some repair up here. So let's see if we can finally get up there. Now you notice that we were at 67 here, 62. We were at 68 here, but it looks like we're going to be able to push up a little higher on the premium as well. Just a smidgen. And we're right up there to the descending upper value area. Let's look at the profile. Now it's reasonable for us to have come down off of that and take a short. We're done for the day, but this would be an area to potentially take a short just because of the fact that it's the value area. But it really does seem that there's more room to go here, because where this places us, if you look back at the profile, is right there. And there's area of repair up here. So I believe we're going to go higher here. Now the premium has not yet confirmed that, but you just need to look at the profile. Now, okay, actually the premium did confirm it. We're still moving higher, 364. So we should be able to move up in there. So we're going to take a break here. We'll come back after 15-20 minutes, and we'll just re-examine how we moved. But keep an eye. We should be moving up there on the INX above the 92.46 area, and they're at 81 as well. We should go higher. So now as we have returned, that's exactly what happened here. That's exactly what happened. And made it even up into this area as well. So once it came up to this area here, as you can see, it came back down. We lost some strength there, but it didn't take long. It came right off of the upper value area and began to go higher. Now, once it pushes through there, as it does here, it's real clear. It's real clear. This is going to continue right on up. And if you followed the RSX, you really were able to take advantage of when this thing was going to start to move back down, especially right in here. So now the question was whether we were short here or short there on the premium. Let's take a quick look and then we'll finish up in our discussion. So there was the first node, and we weren't really able to climb above the previous high on the premium, but it really wasn't that much different. And so it came down just a smidgen to that upper value area in here, and we got a divergent move on the premium at that point, back up to our high here. Okay, and we're still, okay, let's move the premium out a little further. And we were still moving up, okay, still moving up here. So we've got some unfinished business according, well, wait a second, wait a minute. Yeah, we've got a pretty divergent bar of the premium there, but it's still, in terms of a trend, it's still higher. So it looks like we're going to come down and then move back up one more time. So it looks like we're pretty much in a long trend here. Now, where's it going to come to? Well, it's about to the POC at 87.50. So maybe that's a good place for this thing to bounce. You can see already the INX is beginning to turn right down here. And we've got divergence on the premium as well. So right in here looks like a good place for it to perhaps turn around and head back up. But that's all the time we have for our video. I'm RSKsys Intl, Spoon Man for Risk.